right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is game number 7. We are tied up 3-3 here between IM's MVP and Nestea. This is going to be the final game in the series here between these two players. Nestea spawning in the upper right-hand position as our red Zerg player. And then over here in the far upper left-hand position, of course, is MVP as the blue Terran player. It's just been crazy. I don't even know what to say about this series. It's not necessarily the greatest series that I've ever seen, but it's been interesting. It's been pretty fun and exciting as well. Last game, MVP just, I don't know, open up Hellion, okay? Here's tips to win. Tips to win in StarCraft 2. Well, one, you could just say select Terran, but no. Open up 4 Hellion. Move into Marine Tank, Contain, and play on Shattered Temple. Congratulations! You just won a TVZ. That was just unreal. There was literally like nothing that Nestea could have done about that. Again, we could say, okay, he could have gone for roaches, but tanks are very strong against roaches, especially if you're smart about positioning. If you don't get caught out of position, it's going to be really hard for those roaches to push on that Marine Tank Contain. And, I mean, that just wasn't in his cards. Nestea wasn't planning to go for roaches either. And here's the biggest thing too. All right, this is something else you got to keep in mind. How is Nestea supposed to know that push was coming? Could you please tell me that? I mean, there's Hellions out front of his base containing him. He did not know that Marine Tank push was coming, and he couldn't have known that Marine Tank push was coming. The only possible thing that he could have responded with was sacrificing an Overlord a little bit earlier to just try to scout that in time. But I mean, geez, as long as MVP sees it early enough, he can just use Marines, take it out, pull back the tanks, and just try to hide the fact that that factory is up with a tech lab. I don't know. It was just frustrating to watch. It was a very difficult position for Nestea. And even though he attempted that creep spread, it just wasn't working for him. That Hellion Contain denied the vision that he needed. And there's the SCV scout checking the edge of his base. Unfortunately, though, I don't think he caught that Overlord because Nestea, being very, very wise, managed to pull on back with that Overlord and not going in too close and allowing MVP to see him. But actually, there we go. Now he could just barely catch the edge of him, located right over there. Now here's the SCV scout, of course, because MVP now knows that Nestea is located in this upper right-hand position, even though that SCV scout didn't manage to check him as he had hoped. Back over here, what are we seeing come out? Looks like a Marine and another SCV and another Marine. MVP will be opening up with a little bit of aggression. Idle SCV, that's embarrassing. Hopefully he gets that back to work. We've got only one guy in the refinery over here, so saving up some resources because he's coming out with an expansion. That is his plan. But first and foremost, here comes the bunker harass. Bunker again plays down right now for MVP. We've got a lot of drones, and that should help him in stopping. What is he doing? The drones weren't even engaging. I guess he just, I don't know, realized, hey, you know what? There's not enough. And the biggest thing too is that just a 1 racks push isn't going to do a lot of damage. You open up 2 racks and you push out. Okay, your Marines have a chance, but really, I think what MVP's intentions were there was to try to fake out Nestea into thinking a 2 racks push was coming, and then hopefully pull guys off the line. But Nestea responded pretty wisely by going straight to mining and just trying to use his Zerglings and then seeing, okay, are there any more reinforcements coming? Is there much more coming? And also another thing that was very smart on Nestea is he didn't overreact. You can see he didn't make any more Zerglings than he had. He had those 4 initial Zerglings. He has lost 1 to that Marine, but that's it. He didn't see the bunker and then freak out and make like 30 Zerglings. Now he does have 10 coming out now, and actually 14. Now that's a little unorthodox, but obviously the assumption here is that Nestea is planning to push out, all right? He's going to be trying to delay MVP from expanding, trying to prevent him from expanding, and hopefully it works for him because he just got a lot of Zerglings this early in the game. Just now getting a few more drones as well. The metabolic boost almost done. Total number, we've got 17 Zerglings on the map, and that is all Nestea is sitting with, and hopefully he does push out with that. Now get a couple of Hellions prepared to move across the map. Those ones are actually going to be staying back home to defend. Here comes that Spine Crawler trying to get a little bit closer. The Hellion's going to be able to sneak on in. Are they going to take advantage of it? No, just trying to get a shot or 2 off on that Spine and then pulling back. But here come the Zerglings for a counterattack. Able to mop up those Marines. We're going to see a little bit of Hellion micro, and that's going to prevent Nestea from doing much more damage with that. Zergling's getting caught there. Now all they're really doing is distracting MVP right now, because it's not like MVP was even ready to expand. His orbital hadn't even finished yet, and it's very commonplace for a Terran player to finish that orbital in his main before he even tries to drop that expansion. So unfortunately for Nestea, didn't really delay the expansion, just kind of distracted MVP, and I guess he did a little bit of damage, not much though. You can take a look right here. So far, Nestea is significantly further behind. It is still early, though. It's not a huge deal. He's only 100 resources behind. But he's also lost a ton of Zerglings. Let's see if he's lost any workers. No workers have been killed so far this game. So both players' economies are intact. Of course, right now, we're in another of those same positions. MVP has got this contain. Now, that's a lot more difficult on this map. It's not as easy as it is on Shatter Temple to contain with just these Hellions. Nestea does have kind of a better chance of pushing on down with these creep tumors, spreading that creep, and then also using these queens to push back these Hellions. Also, as you can see, we've got an evolution chamber coming on through and a baneling nest evolution chamber being built there at the front wall. Baneling nest being built right back here, and a macro hatch being placed right over there. Lots of Zerglings coming out, also getting some banelings as well. Back over here inside of the main and natural for MVP transition looks to be Marine Tank. We've got Stimpack research coming out, Siege Tanks working their way on through, and we are pumping out those Marines. No Siege Tech coming out. Scanning the high ground, and he killed off the creep tumor. Very nice. I missed the actual vision of that, but as you can see, the creep is receding now, managing to kill off the creep tumor by scanning the high ground and using these 6 Hellions at the low ground to take it out. Now here comes a Spire and a few Banelings. Also the level 1 melee attacks coming on through here for Nestea. MVP again, just going Marine Tank. Now this is going to be a stim timing push with Marine Tank. That's my assumption right now. Oh, never mind. Here comes that Siege Tech. I really thought he was just going to push out without it. Obviously, with Siege Tech is much better. He had just delayed that quite a bit. That's why I was a little bit baffled. I wasn't exactly sure what was going on, honestly. But here we go. You can see that Siege Tech now finally coming on through. Could be that he's actually going for a different timing push, because as you can see, we've got the level 1 weapons upgrades coming out as well. But still, MVP containing Nestea, and Nestea still stuck on these 2 bases. Now here comes that Spire. That's about to pop. He's got a lot of pooled Vespian. He should be able to come out with about 7 Mutalisks, and he might be trying to break that contain before then. No, is he going to wait? It'd be pretty wise of him to just wait until those mutas come out, unless he's trying to hide the fact that he has those mutas and doesn't want MVP to see them, just so that he can kill off those Hellions. But again, this Hellion contain is so strong. Now here comes that Spine Crawler dropping itself right over here. And just look at how much punishment it can take from those Hellions. Those Hellions just really are not effective. Manages to root itself in, and there you go. This is exactly why it's much more difficult on this map to contain that Zerg player for too long. So right now, Nestea has that breathing room. He is out of his base. I mean, he could try to swarm on up on those Hellions at any point, but actually, here go those mutas making their way across the map. So instead of showing on MVP those mutas a little bit earlier, he's going to be going straight into Nestea's base. And Nestea's going straight into MVP's base. I don't know what I'm saying right now. All right, so here we go. Mew's making their way on in. That turret just about finished. There it is. Almost killed off that SCV in time, but wasn't able to do so. We got one Overseer over there, also the Overlord position over here. And now that he's spotted and now that he sees those turrets, again, he doesn't have enough mutas right now to actually do a lot of damage, so he's just going to be pushing out against these Hellions, forcing MVP back to his base, and actually MVP losing a few of those. Down to just those 4 right there. He's got number 5 over here. That's going to get overwhelmed by those Zerglings. There we go. Hellions making their way back on home. Very nice there. Dropping that Contaminate, preventing that SCV from building there. Beautiful, beautiful play by Nestea. Contaminate something that unfortunately we just don't see enough of. I really wish we saw Zerg players do it more often. It is very expensive though to get this Overseer, unless you're planning on getting it otherwise. It doesn't always make the most sense to do it. Also, of course, Contaminate costing so much, 125. That is a very, very hefty investment there in terms of the energy for that Overseer, instead of being able to drop a few changelings. But anyways, that's enough of that. We can see very macro heavy focus here coming out from Nestea. He's not planning on pushing off of 2 or 3 bases. We can see actually working his way up into base number 4. We'll be getting these extractors down here for base number 3. He wants to be able to saturate those immediately and get that Vespene going nice and early. He has got lots of drones coming out, a few more mutas, level 1 upgrades for the Carpus ground units, as well as for the level 1 Carpus ground units, as well as that air level 1 upgrade coming out. Now that muta number is starting to get stronger and stronger, and he's going to feel more and more confident to engage those missile turrets as he gets more and more mutas. Needs to be careful though, unless unnecessarily losing a mutalist there. And again, you know, average players, I expect that, but I'm a little bit surprised that Nestea lost his muta to that missile turret, because that was just a rally mistake. Like, he just rallied right over that turret and unfortunately lost a muta as a result of that. And that's, again, one of those kind of unnecessary losses that you hope not to see from pro players. We do have 4 Hellions over here, and they're again ready to probably push on into this expansion, but they would be met by Speedlings and Banelings, so Nestea should be okay over there for the time being. Again, those muta numbers getting stronger and stronger. He's got 16 now, and 5 more are about to come out, so we'll be seeing a 21 mutalist in just a moment, and the more and more that he gets, the easier it will be to harass, but at the same time, MVP's had plenty of time, and look at this very strong Marine tank force that is built up. That tank gets taken out. That's exactly how you should be using mutalists. We will be seeing MVP prepare to drop down that 3rd expansion, and it looks like spreading out that siege line as well. He's going to be trying to just protect this vicinity. He does need to get a couple tanks over here too, though, to protect from Speedlings working up here, and managing to do some econ harass right up on the top side. And the Hellions managed to sneak on in, getting a few worker kills. Let's take a look here. Not too many, though. MVP only killing off 4 workers so far in this game, so that those Hellions didn't do too much damage at that 3rd expansion. Nestea had enough to respond quickly. Infestation Pit coming out right now for Nestea. Nestea also working up those centrifugal hooks. Level 2 melee upgrades for his ground forces. And these mutas continuing to dance across the map. He's actually checking for additional expansions of MVP. He wants to see if MVP was ballsy enough to hide any expansions down over here. He already knows that there's not one in this position. There's so many mutas right now. 4 more coming out. He's got those 21 at the moment. And he's getting such strong muta numbers. Now, that infestation pit just did finish. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw hive tech sometime soon. Here comes the burrow pathogen glands as well. There are the hives, and now those mutas preparing to engage, taking out those turrets. We'll be starting to get some SCVs, but MVP pulling back the SCVs and then returning with some marine fire, able to shoo back those mutas. Mutas so scared of stim marines because they are just so effective. Not seeing any drops or anything like that. Nestea just being allowed to macro up right now, but look at that strong position here at the center of the map. Mutas still going to town, but those Marines doing a decent job of fending them back. I just want to show you guys this here. Look at this tank and Marine line. This is just nuts. He's also got a sensor tower to see where any Speedlings, Mutas, and Banelings would be pushing from in terms of direction to allow him to respond by pulling his Marines to where they need to be in terms of defense. This Muta Death Cloud, though, is still daunting. He's going to work his way on up, and here comes that Econ harass right now, going straight for those SCVs. Also taking out tech buildings and supply depots, all of these things very effective. And there you go. We got some spine crawler defense over here just to deal with any of the likely drops that may be coming. Still really haven't seen any. Burrowed Zergling, love it. Absolutely love it there. Nestea delaying MVP's 4th expansion. Here come the mutas preparing to move on down and engage. Are there enough Marines? It looks like there may be. And isn't it just like upsetting how such a small amount of Marines can threaten mutas and force them back? It's just so frustrating as a Zerg player to have to deal with something like that. This tank spread is friggin' nuts. Here come the mutas, a little bunched up against that Thor, but able to drop it quick enough. There's lots and lots of Marines. Speedlings trying to push on down. Unfortunately, that did not go for Nestea as he may have hoped. He was able to do a little bit of damage, but really not much at all. That wasn't an all-in push or anything. He wasn't pushing with the bulk of his force, but he still had a decent amount of units there in that engagement. Spreading some creep over here, trying to delay MVP from possibly dropping an expo over here. Also, this is going to help him spot any drops if we eventually see MVP move out with them. I haven't seen anything. I might have missed something, but I don't believe so. Look at those mutas just going to town. Actually dropping the armory. That's pretty big. It's going to stop the production of any tanks. We've got 3-3 upgrades right now coming for MVP. So MVP really bolstering up those ground forces. What about our buddy Nestea, though? He is 0-1 for air. He has got the adrenal glands coming out for those Speedlings. Also the level 3 melee upgrade and the level 2 Carpus upgrade. Greater Spire almost finished too. So he'll be working his way up into some Brew Lords at some point. Just such a heavy macro game, and you know what? This is a far cry from what we saw for those first 6 games, pretty much. All of them have been relatively short, so I'm very happy to see a longer and drawn-out game over here, and this is just going to be now about trying to harass Econ, who can maintain map control, and then just worrying about that big death push. MVP, once he works his way, you can see he's at supply cap. Both players now, as we hit that 20-minute mark, are sitting at supply cap. Finally, MVP looks to be working down with some drop harass, but literally, there we go. We got a drop coming down over here. Look at these banelings, though. They're ready. They are oh so ready. Here they come, and that threat alone, he's trying to actually trigger that baneling popping off of one Marines, but Nestea is smart enough. Oh, no, never mind. Oh, no, that's not good. He's going to be taking some damage over here. We're seeing a drop move over in this direction as well. We still got those mutas over here. This drop for MVP going to be incredibly effective. We're going to see some banelings pulling down to respond to that. At the same time, though, here comes a drop in the main, and finally MVP with some effective dropping. Here come those banelings, though, and taking out those Marines. I don't know if that was worth the trade. He lost a lot of banelings to such a small group of Marines. We got those mutas trying to catch any more medevacs. Nice fungal growth on those Marines. He needs something else, though, because they are still here, and they're getting healed up as well from that medevac. Here come the Broodlords engaging this expansion. Some siege fire doing damage to the Broodlords, but also splashing against their own SCVs. That one muta is not going to do anything against those Marines. There we go. That's what we need. Banelings moving on down, finally taking him out. These Broodlords going to be doing some heavy damage. We've got some Vikings coming into play, though. We're going to be using those mutas to try to counteract that. Also, some Ghost Transition. Snipe is so effective. So very effective against Broodlords. Nestea with these Broodlords. Wow, able to stop that expansion completely, take that out as well. Those mutas taking him out once he lifts off. Nestea's got a great opportunity right now. He's got to be concerned, though, because we've got more Marines, Vikings, and Ghosts, and all of those things. Very strong at taking out these Broodlords. We're gonna need those. We're definitely gonna need those mutas to help support him, if at all possible. Here we go, pushing forward, trying to take out those Vikings. Look at all of those Ghosts. There's so many Ghosts. We're gonna see some heavy sniping action in just 1 minute. Way too many Marines for those mutas to deal with. And look at those snipes going down there on those Broodlords. And oh my gosh, just tearing through. Snipe is so strong. It is unbelievable. See you later, Broodlords. What a joke. That is unreal. Still got a medevac over here. This spawning pool still alive, but barely. Actually, I really hope that Nestea rebuilds a spawning pool right now, because it's very likely that we're going to see another drop there from MVP to take that out. That was nuts. Did you see how quickly those Broodlords got dropped? Ghost Snipe is unreal against those Broodlords. Just absolutely unreal in the hands of a skilled player. Now, again, both players still near supply cap. We've got so many Banelings coming out here for an ST. He's also got a Nidus Network coming in. Only one Broodlord right now. It doesn't look like he's planning to get many more. He doesn't even have any Corrupt. He's got 3 Corruptors in play, but that's it. So not going to be getting many Broodlings. He's really relying on those Banelings right now. I am excited to see that Nidus Network come into play, though. It's going to be so hard for Nestea to push on onto the siege position, especially with that sensor tower there. It's just so obvious for MVP once Nestea does decide to move down. We got Nestea moving into another base. Both players working their way up to max upgrades here. Those Banelings sitting at 2-3 right now. And this is just absolutely nuts. Those air units should be continuing to get upgrades. We got a Ultralist Cavern coming out as well. High-tech auto tracking coming out. That's something you don't see every game, but MVP decided to bring that out. We got that nice network. Where is it? There it is. Nestea coming out with that Nidus Worm right now. Is he going to be able to get this in play? No, we got Marines at the low ground, able to shoot with the high ground. Very nice indeed. One Broodlord back here. Muta's moving across the map. Still got some Marines and a Thor over here. MVP trying to protect his expansions there. You can see those planetary fortresses. We got a no planetary over here, and actually that was really sad. I really wanted to see that Nidus Worm come into play. Unfortunately, it didn't end up coming through. I'm excited that we're going to be seeing some Ultralists come out, though. That is just a favorite unit of mine. I actually cannot wait until the Heart of the Swarm expansion, because it's going to be absolutely ridiculous with the burrow charge that we're going to be seeing with Ultralists. I can't wait. So exciting, so exciting. We'll be attempting another Nidus Worm. That's going to get quickly denied, though. Watch how quick these Thor, plus those Marines take it out. And then, oh, the snipes! Oh, the snipes! That is embarrassing. Now that poor Broodlord. He gets taken out so quickly. There's so many spine crawlers here in the center of the map, and this is going to help delay a push, but with that siege line, MVP should be able to push against that. The major danger is, though, is that once he unsieges, he has to worry about those Speedlings and Banelings, because we do have quite a few of them. Taking a look here, we got a drop getting placed down over here. and he won't be able to actually effectively kill off the hatchery. But the thing with these kind of drops is you weaken up that hatchery. That makes that second drop following up just so devastating. We still have one infestor over here to try to protect against any possible drops in this position. So another drop here, and Nestea could be losing this expansion, and that's why dropping as a Terran player against Zerg is so effective. We have another drop moving across the map. First and foremost, taking out the Overlord, and actually not able to get to him. The only thing he can get up to right now is with those mutas. He's only got 8 at the moment, so that's a little scary. We'll be dropping back inside of the main right now. We've still got one Broodlord sitting over here. Lots of Speedlings and Banelings actually moving on down, forcing the liftoff here. MVP realizing he's not going to be able to push out against that yet, just because he's so entrenched right now in his siege line. I mean, hell, he's even got late-game planetary defenses going up over there. Hopefully we see MVP come out the planetary over here. Map control going to Nestea at the moment, just in terms of the Xel'Naga towers. He's got control of the center, and wow. Do you guys see the number of Banelings coming through? 64 Banelings being warped in right now. We've got 48 in play already. He's prepared for a heavy, heavy Baneling push. Both players pretty much at supply cap, very, very near it at the very least. Upgrades coming out for those those Ultralists. Where's the Ultralist Cavern even? I don't even know where that is. Take a look, see if we can find it here. It's got to be somewhere, right? Right? I mean, it's obviously somewhere. I just don't know where. There it is. So, yes, we've got that armor upgrade coming out for those Ultras. Now, we haven't seen any Ultras come into play yet, and there aren't going to be any. Apparently, we got another Broodlord coming out, but here we go. Ooh, so many Banelings. Can't wait to see what's going to happen with this. That was creepy, right? I know. We got so many Banelings on the map, and hopefully Nestea actually utilizes these. We got a drop over here quickly mopped up by those Banelings and those mutas, and at this point, obviously, MVP knows what he's up against in terms of those heavy, heavy Baneling numbers. MVP mentioned to lay down this expansion. Really surprised that's not a planetary. Maybe he's just holding off on that because he wants to be able to lift that off if necessary. Nope, never mind. There we go. Planetary is coming out. Trying to keep an eye on that mini-map. I want to see if any more drops do commence. A little bit of idle workers over here. That's no bueno. Lots and lots of Banelings. We got Marines trying to push up against that. Finally going to be seeing some Ultralists come into play here. And actually, Nestea pushing up to this expansion, forcing the liftoff. That is burning. We've got a couple of infested Terrans going to get dropped down, and he's going to be trying to shoot that out of the sky. Is he going to get it? We'll be very close. We've got Marines moving down to take out those infested Terrans, and it looks like MVP did manage to protect that expansion. Just barely able to get that last final bit of repair. Still got that Broodlord over here. Really want to see him push down and start wreaking havoc on this expansion right now, though that's just sitting idly in that position. And MVP slowly encroaching towards the center of the map. A drop over here. The spawning pool is still up. A couple of Marines, though, able to take out that extractor. We still have a ton of Banelings. More and more Ultras coming in. As NST loses Zerglings, Banelings, and Mutas, he's been replacing them with Ultralists, so he's getting ready for that heavy siege break push eventually. We can see those Ultralists rallied up over here. Very, very nice income. I want to take a look here at the income tab. Nestea is ahead at the moment. It does appear to be the case, of course. He's got, I believe he's got more mining bases at the moment. At least it seems to be so. And again, I just can't, I want to see those Banelings do something, really, at some point. I would love to see them do something. We've got personal cloaking coming out right now for those Ghosts. And once that's up, that's going to allow MVP to be a little bit more harassive with that. He's got so many Ghosts. Ooh, that's scary. So many Ghosts. So many Ghosts. Attempt to drop over here. MVP will be forced to lift off. Now, the reason I mention that, EMPs and Snipes, actually pretty strong at the moment. Now, not going to do very well against those Banelings, but the Snipes against those Ultralists, plus the EMPs and Snipes against those Infestors as well, that'll allow that tank line plus those Marines to pretty much tear through those Banelings if he can get rid of those major threats. It's really just going to come down to how that engagement ends up playing through. Now, this drop harass for MVP proving to be pretty effective. I don't know what happened with this one, though. There we go. That's going to get taken out. Nope. Oh, there we go. Finally, the fungal growth and then the infested Terrans able to take that out. I'm just a little bit concerned about composition. I really wish that we saw some more Speedlings here, because trying to get these Banelings, it just takes a little bit longer for those Banelings to catch up to these drops. And he doesn't have any air to deal with these medevacs. He's just been relying on fungal growth, and a lot of the time that's good, but not all of the time. You know, having at least some semblance of air could certainly help out Nestea right now. Now, as you can see, we've got some nukes in production. We still have these 2 medevacs over here. Looks like that'll get dropped again. And MVP, he's just going to keep up this dropping, and it's very wise of him to do so, because he's just going to be trying to wear down Nestea, spread him thin, and especially if he can snipe something like this. Uh-oh. Medevac getting ready to land those Marines. These Marines just about to stim up. He's going to snipe that spawning pool. See you later. That is gone, even though we got those Feelings and Banelings in. Not quick enough. Marines able to take that out. We've got another drop over here, and at this point in the game, look at this. It's just Nestea. He's running around like a chicken with his head cut off, just back and forth, just trying to deal with the drop harass, and MVP being very, very effective in it. You can take a look here, and Nestea is behind in terms of resources lost. Very nice fungal growth. Should be dropping down another one as well, and there it is, able to take out the Marine with that second fungal growth. Trying to get some infested Terrans in there. Unfortunately, though, those medevacs were able to sneak away. He lost that spawning pool. He's finally rebuilding that right now. A couple Spielings and one Baneling over there. And it's just nuts. We're just sitting at like max pop, and we're just seeing harass. And unfortunately, Nestea, he's not making a move to push. He's just dead. There it is. That, right as I mentioned it, here's his move. He will be pushing forward with this heavy doom drop of Overlords. But where is it? We have got it right there. He's going to be landing it. It looks like the nuke's going to hit. Nestea is about to get hit with the nuke. Lands and kills oh so many workers. That's scary, but we cannot discount Nestea yet, because look at this drop inside of the main base. Lots of Banelings and Ultras getting dropped inside of the main. I don't know why that guy's sitting idly. Nestea, I don't know what he's doing right now. He needs to be engaging with all these units. He's still got a ton inside of his Overlords. He is just not dropping everything. He wanted to wait until we saw this, and we're going to be seeing some snipes come down. Here come the Banelings. We'll be dropping on top of those tanks, but there's so many snipes on those Overlords, and he's managing to kill a few of them off. And we also got a drop over here, managed to take out this expansion. Unbelievable snipe action there from MVP, killing off a lot of those Overlords. Still, though, these Brewlords doing a lot of damage. We will be seeing some more snipe action. We still have these Marines over here. This expansion is gone. This expansion got taken out as well from a drop. Nestea starting to hurt. He is doing a little bit of damage, but was it worth it? Was it enough? Hell, we still got some Banelings in here. And Nestea just throwing it away, and look at, he's lost so many Overlords. He is so below cap right now. Finally getting out some more Overlords in play, going to allow him to create a few more units, but he has taken such heavy losses, and I don't know that that trade-off was worth it. As you can see, very far behind in terms of resources lost. My biggest concern, though, is MVP managed to kill off 57 workers. That nuke was ridiculous. He did so much damage with that. That was very impressive. We've got 3 more nukes prepared as well, so we will be seeing some more nuke action from MVP. Just dealing with this drop harass is proving almost impossible right now for Nestea. He's just having such a hard time against it. Now we do have the spawning pool right there. Marines on the high ground, able to take out that extractor. We still haven't rebuilt the expansion over here. Oh, he's floating 10,000 resources. Nestea, please rebuild that expansion. That would be absolutely wonderful. And I assure you that it is in your benefit to try to get that hatchery back up here and try to get some more resources going. He was finally able to take out that medevac. This is just scary, scary, scary. The further along we get in this game, the more and more confident MVP must be feeling. He's just been doing such a phenomenal job so far. And again, that nuke was unreal, the amount of damage he was able to do. Now we've got another Cloak Ghost moving out over here. There's another Cloak Ghost over there as well. Gonna be seeing some more nuke action. MVP preparing to drop a nuke right over here. We've got a nuke over here as well. Is Nestea going to respond in time? That is the question. Oh no. There's a nuke. There we go. Finally pulling back his guys. He realizes that nuke is coming. This nuke drops. Managing to kill off a few workers. I believe some Overlords as well. And there's another nuke. MVP's nukes. Just unreal. He is doing so much damage with those. That is unbelievable that those 2 landed and managed to kill off as much as they did. Nestea just not responding properly. Here's another nuke over here. That hatchery just about dead. Oh my gosh, that ghost should be able to actually snipe it off. Is he going to be able to? No, it doesn't look like he got it. Very, very close indeed, though. Just going to take a little bit more Marine fire. MVP dropping over here, but as we can see, Nestea hasn't even bothered to try to get up this expansion. And with this drop harass and all of this nuking, Nestea, it's getting so rough for him. He wasn't able to push out. The biggest thing, MVP had such a heavy and a strong tank line there, plus those planetary fortresses. It seems like MVP was just like, you know what, I just can't do it. I can't push out against that. It's not going to happen. And so he didn't, and as a result, it's given MVP the time to just constantly drop and drop and drop, and he's been sniping off buildings, he's been sniping off expansions. Look, we've got another drop over here, and it looks like this is going to do even more damage. That is unreal. I just heard another nuke go down. Where is it going to be? There it is. We've got a nuke coming down over here. We've got another nuke planned over here, and yet one more over here. And let's take a look at these one at a time. First nuke there, getting rid of some of those spines. Second nuke over here will be doing more damage, killing off the queen, as well as a bunch of those overseers. And then the other nuke over here takes out the expansion. And the nuke harass plus the drop harass is just unreal from MVP. MVP demolishing Nestea as we move into these late stages of the game. Nestea losing another expansion. Nestea's economy is terrible. He's got a hell of a lot of Broodlords. Let's take a look at the unit composition. We've got 29 Marines plus 18 Ghosts, 14 Vikings. MVP has what is necessary to take this out. Let's watch these Vikings in action. The Vikings moving forward to take out those Broodlords. Those Ghosts could be doing some snipe action. There we go. We're going to be seeing those Cloak Ghosts move forward, and let's watch these snipes go down. This is unreal. We need some fungal growths there on those Ghosts. EMPs taking out the energy. Beautiful play. Snipes taking out the Broodlords. Nestea is going to be losing everything right here. We still have a ton of Ghosts left. And those Ghosts able to mop up the rest of the forces. Nestea is down to pretty much nothing right now. And that is it. Calling the good game. All right, guys, that does it for the series here between Nestea and MVP. The series going to MVP in a very impressive third game. Drop harass, nuke harass, and Nestea just giving MVP far too much room and not harassing in return made in a very strong showing for MVP in the late game. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this series. Again, MVP takes it. Thanks for watching. As always, keep watching and keep owning. Oh, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.